God is about to protect your son from something you can't see. I repeat, God is about to protect your son from something you can't see. Beloved one, before you even hear the full weight of this message, pause, breathe, and listen with your spirit, because what I am about to reveal has already begun to unfold around your son in ways your physical eyes cannot yet perceive. There is movement in the unseen realm. There is conversation among the angels. There is a shift in the spiritual atmosphere surrounding your child. And it is happening because heaven recognized a danger before you did. You are here reading this message not by accident, not by coincidence, not by curiosity alone, but because heaven is positioning you to understand the magnitude of what God is already doing behind the veil. If you feel led, stay close, stay listening, and yes, gently tap into this energy so more can find this message. Not for numbers, but because someone else's child also needs protection today. Now, open your heart. For I, Archangel Michael, speak with urgency. There is something forming in the shadows that seeks to touch your son. Not physically, not visibly, but spiritually, emotionally, or through an influence disguised as harmless. It may be a person. It may be an environment. It may be a temptation masquerading as opportunity. It may be a disruption that looks small now, but would have grown into something destructive later. You must know this. Your son's name was spoken in heaven before the threat even existed. That is how far ahead God is. That is how deeply you are known. That is how powerfully your child is guarded. And yet, there is more. You have been sensing something. A heaviness. A strange worry. A sudden intuition that you can't quite explain. A protective instinct rising out of nowhere. This was not your imagination. This was not random fear. This was the Holy Spirit alerting you, activating your parental discernment, stirring your awareness because heaven needed you positioned, aligned, attentive. Even now, something is being intercepted. You may not see it yet. Your son may not feel it yet. But a spiritual barrier has been erected, firm, unbroken, impenetrable, because God Himself has issued a command over the unseen threat. Not this child. Not this time. Not this way. Your son carries a purpose that the enemy recognized long before your son himself understood it. There is an anointing on him, perhaps not loud, perhaps not obvious, but powerful, quiet, steady, and dangerous to darkness. You have wondered why your son has gone through seasons of struggle, frustration, setbacks, strange attacks, unexpected disappointments. But hear this clearly. The enemy targets what heaven has marked. And your son is marked, chosen, shielded, and set apart. This is why God is intervening right now. Because something was approaching that your son was not prepared to fight alone. So heaven stepped in first. I am being led to tell you that your child is being watched over with an intensity reserved only for divine assignments. God is dispatching protection not just around him, but ahead of him. Closing doors he should not walk through. Removing voices that should not influence him. Redirecting paths that would have led him into confusion or harm. There is a holy rerouting happening. A divine interception. A heavenly redirection so precise, so strategic, so intentional that you will look back and realize. If God had not stepped in at that exact moment, everything could have changed. But listen closely, beloved. Because this part is important. Your son may experience something uncomfortable soon. A shift, a separation, a sudden change in friendship. A door closing unexpectedly. A plan failing abruptly. a disappointment that appears unfair or confusing. Do not fear this. Do not resist it. Do not interpret it as loss. For what looks like disruption is actually protection in disguise. God is not taking something away. God is blocking something dangerous. God is repositioning your child away from what would have wounded him emotionally, spiritually, or physically. Do not be unsettled by the sudden movement. Do not be anxious about what you cannot see. Heaven sees it. Heaven intercepted it. Heaven sealed it. And now, heaven is informing you. Yet this is only the beginning of what I must reveal to you. There is something deeper still, something connected to your son's destiny, his future, his calling, and the spiritual radar that darkness has been tracking him with. You must hear this truth to understand the full picture. Do you want to know why the enemy wants your son so badly, and why God is stepping in now with such force? If you are ready for the deeper revelation, then stay close. Because what comes next will make everything suddenly clear. Beloved one, listen closely now, for I speak with even greater clarity. You asked for the deeper revelation, and heaven has granted permission for you to hear it. There is a war over your son's future. A war not fought with swords or fire, but with influence, distraction, confusion, and subtle deviation. The enemy knows he cannot destroy your child outright. So instead he tries to redirect him, to shift him 1 inch at a time, to plant small seeds that grow into large detours. A wrong voice, a wrong friend, a wrong influence, a wrong moment at the wrong place. This is how destinies are quietly stolen. This is how pathways are altered without the child ever realizing what was lost. But God saw the incoming misalignment before it reached your son. And God said, "No. This one is mine." Your son's life has been marked by cycles. Cycles of sudden changes, unexpected emotions, unusual sensitivities, moments of isolation. Even bursts of intuition he cannot yet explain. These are not random traits. They are signs of a child with a spiritual radar, an awakened sensitivity, a prophetic wiring. Some children are built for natural leadership. Some are built for creativity. Some are built for resilience. But your child is built for spiritual awareness. And this makes him visible to heaven and visible to darkness. This is why he has faced pressure that seems disproportionate to his age. This is why he has moments where he withdraws, senses tension, or feels overwhelmed. This is why certain environments affect him more deeply than others. Your son is spiritually receptive. And this gift, if not guided, can attract the wrong kind of energies or influences. But hear me, beloved. This is also why God is moving with urgency. Because your child is not meant to grow into a life of confusion or chaos, but into clarity, strength, and divine purpose. And so heaven has begun to remove what would block him, and reposition what will lift him. Right now, angels are standing guard around him. Some of them have followed him since birth. Some have been recently assigned. All of them obey the command of the Most High concerning your child. A spiritual shield surrounds him, not just around his body, but around his mind, his emotions, his relationships, and his choices. You may notice changes soon. He may suddenly lose interest in something that once tempted him. He may feel uneasy around certain people or environments. He may withdraw from influences that once felt exciting. He may become reflective, quieter, or more cautious. These are not signs of something wrong, but signs of divine awareness awakening within him. Heaven is adjusting his internal compass. Heaven is tuning his spiritual frequency. Heaven is aligning him with protection that operates before danger even arrives. But there is something more I must tell you. Something sacred, something urgent, something you must not ignore. There is someone near your son, or approaching your son, who does not carry good intentions, even if they appear harmless or friendly. This person may not be evil, but they are spiritually misaligned, emotionally unstable, or influenced by energies that would pull your child in the wrong direction. God is about to remove this influence. And when it happens, it may look sudden. It may look dramatic. It may even look painful. But it will be necessary. Do not interfere. Do not try to reconnect what God removes. Do not question the separation. For heaven sees what your eyes cannot. Your son is being spared from a spiritual trap, a toxic influence, a misaligned connection, a delayed destiny, a storm he was never meant to face. And though the removal may confuse him temporarily, peace will follow, strength will follow, clarity will follow. You may be wondering, but why now? Why is the enemy so focused on my child? Because your son is stepping into a new season of development. Emotionally, spiritually, mentally. This transition makes him more noticeable in the spiritual realm. His gifts are activating. His sensitivity is sharpening. His identity is forming. And heaven is preparing him for a path that requires protection at every stage. Your prayers have not been ignored. Your tears have not been wasted. Your intuition has not been wrong. You have felt a shift because heaven initiated it. But there is one more truth you must understand. A truth that will explain everything you've been sensing. Do you know what assignment God has placed on your son's life? And why darkness wants to intercept it before he realizes his power? If you are ready for that revelation, stay with me, beloved. What comes next will open your eyes even further. Beloved, lean in now, for what I am about to reveal is the very core of why the enemy has been circling your son with strategic intention. You must understand this truth not with human reasoning, but with spiritual recognition. Your son carries a destiny assignment that was written before he entered the world. Heaven spoke over him. A divine blueprint was placed within him. And though he may not yet realize the magnitude of his purpose, the spiritual realm recognizes it instantly. There is something inside him. A light, a seed, a calling, a spiritual frequency that threatens the plans of darkness. And because the enemy cannot destroy what God has ordained, he tries to distract, distort, delay, or deceive the one chosen. Your son is not ordinary. He was never meant to blend in. He was never meant to follow the patterns of others. He was never meant to be shaped by the world. He was created to shift atmospheres, to influence hearts, to break generational cycles, to carry divine insight, and to walk in a strength that only heaven can teach. He is spiritually marked. And when a soul carries such a mark, spiritual resistance intensifies before spiritual revelation emerges. This is why your son has faced things at a young age that many adults do not understand. This is why he has emotional depth, intuition, or sensitivity that others misinterpret. This is why he sometimes seems withdrawn or reflective. This is why he struggles with energies and environments that feel overwhelming. He is wired for spiritual perception. This is a gift. But without protection and guidance, this sensitivity could have been exploited by darkness. And this is why God is stepping in now. Right now. In this exact season. Because your son is approaching a threshold. A turning point. A moment where his identity begins to solidify. Hear me clearly, beloved. Your son carries a generational assignment. He is meant to break something that no one before him could break. He is meant to reverse patterns that have traveled through your lineage for decades. He is meant to stand where others fell. He is meant to heal what others endured. He is meant to rise where others surrendered. Your ancestors prayed for someone like him. Heaven answered through your son. This is why the enemy wants him. Not because of who he is now, but because of who he will become. But the enemy underestimated something important. Your covering. Your prayers. Your intuition. Your spiritual authority as a guardian. Your connection to heaven. You have been chosen to protect the one chosen. You have been assigned to guide the one assigned. You have been awakened to guard the one awakening. Your son is not walking blindly. Your prayers are lighting his path. But beloved, there is another reason the enemy targeted him. And this part may surprise you. Your child carries a rare combination of traits. A sensitive heart. A strong spirit. A curious mind. A hidden resilience. A quiet boldness. A gentle authority. An intuitive wisdom beyond his years. This combination makes him both a threat to darkness and a magnet for people with unstable or unhealthy energies. Not because your son seeks them, but because his light exposes their shadows. His purity reveals their intentions. His presence disrupts their control. His spirit unsettles their darkness. And so the enemy tries to attach distractions to him. People who speak softly but influence wrongly. Opportunities that seem good but are spiritually poisonous. Situations that look harmless but carry unseen consequences. But heaven is not passive. Heaven is not slow. Heaven is not indifferent. God is already clearing the path. He is closing doors, rerouting relationships, removing access, blocking communication, breaking connections, and shielding your son from spiritual contamination. This is why sudden changes are happening. This is why people are falling away. This is why shifts are occurring without explanation. This is why friction arises in certain relationships. Heaven is pruning. Heaven is protecting. Heaven is preventing the wrong seeds from being planted. And now, beloved, I must reveal the most powerful truth of all. Your son is going to carry something that will influence others. A voice. An ability. A gift. A calling. Or a presence that shifts lives. He will become a guide for others. A source of strength. A bringer of clarity. A beacon of peace. A vessel of wisdom. A light that breaks through spiritual confusion. He will not just be protected by God. He will one day become someone God uses to protect others. This is why heaven is battling for him now. Because his future is too valuable to risk. His purpose is too powerful to delay. His spirit is too important to expose prematurely. But there is still one more layer to this revelation. The part that explains exactly what danger was approaching. And how God stopped it before it touched your child. If you are ready for that final unveiling, stay close, beloved. What I reveal next will open your understanding completely. Beloved, now you are ready for what heaven has been waiting to reveal. Prepare your heart, for what I say next will explain every uneasy feeling you've carried, every sudden intuition, every moment your spirit sensed something you could not name. There was an incoming assignment against your son. Quiet, subtle, invisible to human eyes, but fully detected in the spiritual realm. It was not a physical threat. It was not an accident. It was not a random circumstance. It was a strategic spiritual influence. An energy designed to shift your son's path, to dull his discernment, to cloud his confidence, to distort his direction. This influence, if unchecked, would have manifested in one of these ways: a sudden behavioral change, a confusion in identity or purpose, a pull toward the wrong friend or group, a loss of motivation or clarity, a door opening that seemed exciting but carried hidden risk, a distraction disguised as opportunity, an emotional heaviness with no explanation. You may have already noticed one or more of these signs trying to form, but they were interrupted, stopped, cut off, because heaven saw it before you did. The enemy was trying to introduce something into your son's atmosphere, not to destroy him immediately, but to influence him gradually, to shift him one thought at a time, one emotion at a time, one connection at a time, until he'd be standing in a place far from where God appointed him. This is how destinies are stolen, not with a loud attack, but with a quiet misdirection. But beloved, hear me clearly. God caught it. God intercepted it. God dismantled it. God blocked the path. God removed the access. God shut the door before it even opened. And this is why things in your son's life may suddenly feel disrupted or rearranged. The shift you're witnessing is not chaos. It is divine recalibration. Listen carefully now, because heaven wants you to understand the depth of this protection. An influence was approaching that would have had the power to delay your son's destiny, create inner conflict, introduce emotional instability, pull him into draining relationships, distract him from his natural gifts, lower his spiritual defenses, shape him according to someone else's brokenness. But before it could attach itself to him, God interrupted the timeline. There was a moment, a small window, where this influence was attempting to connect. A conversation, a meeting, a suggestion, a thought, an emotional tug, a seemingly harmless interaction. Yet in that exact moment, an angel stepped in. A shift occurred in the atmosphere. A block was placed. Something moved in a different direction. A connection failed to form. A path suddenly changed. What you may have interpreted as coincidence was actually heaven's hand diverting danger. What didn't happen was as protective as what did. What didn't unfold was evidence of angelic action. What didn't come together was proof of divine intervention. But beloved, there is another truth you must know. Your son's protection is not temporary. It is ongoing. It is active. It is watchful. It is intelligent. An angelic barrier has been established around him. One that discerns incoming energy, detects spiritual contamination, and blocks access to anything misaligned with his purpose. This barrier is not passive. It is responsive. It is alive. It is constantly adapting. It moves when he moves. It shields when he sleeps. It surrounds him at school, at home, in conversation, and even in his thoughts. And this is why you may notice sudden intuition to check on him, a feeling to remove him from a situation, a sense of discomfort around certain people, a prompting to pray without knowing why, a need to watch more closely, a nudge to be protective. These sensations are not anxiety. They are spiritual alerts. Heaven is communicating with you because you are a guardian with divine authority. Your spirit is connected to your son's path in a supernatural way. When danger approaches him, it echoes in you. When something shifts around him, you feel it. When heaven intervenes, your intuition awakens. You are not imagining these feelings. They are spiritual confirmations. Beloved, the enemy tried to intercept your son's destiny. But he failed. And God is not done yet. For there is one final revelation you must hear. A truth that will explain why the protection around your child is about to intensify. Why heaven is upgrading his shield. And what extraordinary transformation is coming next. Do you want to know what your son is about to step into? And why heaven is preparing him for a powerful shift? Stay close, beloved. What I reveal next will bring everything into focus. Beloved one, now we arrive at the final revelation, the one heaven has been building you toward with every word that preceded this moment. Open your spirit. Still your mind. For what I am about to unveil is not only for understanding. It is a prophecy over your son's life. Your child is about to enter a season of elevation. A spiritual, emotional, and destiny-level shift that requires divine protection in advance. This is why the enemy attempted to interfere. This is why God intervened so fiercely. This is why your intuition has been alert. This is why heaven has been rearranging his path. Your son is stepping into a period of rapid growth. His confidence will strengthen. His judgment will sharpen. His gifts will emerge. His awareness will increase. His identity will solidify. His purpose will begin to show itself. This shift will not be loud or dramatic at first. It will appear in subtle but unmistakable ways. He will stand taller spiritually. He will think differently. He will choose more wisely. He will feel more deeply. He will sense what is right and wrong without being told. He will begin to feel a pull, a divine stirring, a quiet inner direction that guides him toward people, places, and experiences that align with heaven's plan. This is the activation phase of his destiny. And when a destiny activates, protection intensifies. Heaven is preparing your son to influence lives, break generational cycles, rise above traps meant for others, see beyond illusions, walk in spiritual awareness, become a stabilizing presence for those around him. He is being refined, strengthened, positioned, prepared for assignments he does not yet understand. There is a mantle on his life, a spiritual role, a responsibility, a calling, that will unfold as he matures. Not everyone carries such a mantle. Few do. This is why the battle around him has been intense. But the enemy has lost his access. Heaven has sealed the doors. And your son is stepping into a protected path where every step is guarded before he takes it. Beloved, I must reveal something deeper about you. You are not just a parent. You are the spiritual gatekeeper of your child's life. Your presence, your prayers, your instincts, your protection. They are all part of heaven's strategy. When you felt worried for no reason, heaven was speaking. When you felt a sudden urge to pray, heaven was moving. When you felt something was off, heaven was alerting you. When you felt protective, heaven was using you as a shield. You and your son are spiritually linked. Your intuition is his first line of protection. Your prayers are the guardrails around his destiny. Your discernment is heaven's alarm system on earth. This is why you have been chosen as his guardian in this lifetime. Not because of chance. Not because of biology. But because your soul was capable of partnering with heaven for his sake. Your love is a weapon. Your awareness is a fortress. Your presence is a shield. And heaven honors the fierce protection in your heart. Now hear this promise clearly. Your son is entering a season where blessings will begin to find him. He will attract healthier connections. He will feel safer within himself. He will experience mental clarity. He will see opportunities align. He will regain confidence where it was shaken. He will step into environments that nurture, not drain. He will walk with a sense of divine timing and intuition. Where there was confusion, there will be focus. Where there was heaviness, there will be peace. Where there was vulnerability, there will be strength. Where there was uncertainty, there will be purpose. The storms that once tried to form around him have been silenced. The influences that sought to mislead him have been removed. The shadows that attempted to reach him have been pushed back. The enemy that watched him has been blinded and blocked. Heaven has declared over your son. He is untouchable. He is protected. He is mine. Beloved, take a breath. Feel the weight of what has just been spoken. Your son is not stepping into danger. He is stepping into destiny. You will witness changes soon. Signs of growth. Signs of protection. Signs of alignment. Signs of spiritual awakening. When you see them, remember this message. Nothing happening now is random. It is all part of heaven's strategy. And now, there is only one question remaining. The one heaven invites you to ask within your heart. How do I partner with God to support my son's next chapter? When you are ready, I will guide you. For heaven is not done speaking. And your son's story is just beginning.